thanks to the skyrocketing cost of college and dismal prospects after graduation for jobs. More high school students are skipping out on college altogether. But is this the right move to make? Joining me now, Charlie Kirk, founder and executive director at Turning Point USA. Charlie, welcome back to the show. Always enjoy having you on. Apparently, this is a new trend. People are deciding they're not going to do college. And frankly, Charlie, I have to tell you, I don't think everybody should have always done college. It's a choice that you should make consciously. What do you make of this, and what kinds of options are people pursuing?
You're absolutely right. And going back to the advent of college during the late 1960s, when LBJ passed the Higher Education Reform Act, there was this new ideology that everybody has to go to college. And unfortunately, college was never designed for that. It wasn't designed for the masses. It was designed for people that want to become lawyers, doctors, or CEOs. And when now these kids that are starting to not go to college, they're starting to still be able to go forth in their career. And I think these kids that we're starting to see across the country in this new trend, they're still able to be successful even though they're not in college. And there's this old notion that if you're not in college, you're not being educated, and that's just not true.
Well, come on. I'm just going to challenge you on that, because I know a lot of mom and dads out there who spend a lot of money sending their kids to college are saying, hey, you have to go to school to get educated. What other ways, Charlie, can you get educated?
Right. Well, it's amazing now with the internet. You can get a liberal arts degree without ever leaving your house. The online university trends going on in this country is just absolutely amazing. Khan Academy. You can go to khanacademy.com and you can learn more on that website than you can in most universities. And remember, most universities, for the first 2 years, you're being taught by a teacher's assistant. You're not even being taught by a professor. And now you can actually go online, watch YouTube videos of a real professor teaching, and you can have a live discourse with them. That's amazingly valuable. The old brick and mortar school way of thinking is now vanishing, and these new entrepreneurial school and ideas are really coming to the surface.
It's not vanishing, unfortunately. Unfortunately, the average student loan debt is $20,000. People are still going, and they're still opting to spend the bucks, setting them behind for years and decades to come. And Charlie, as I often say, you know, young people, they decide to delay marriage, delay having kids, delay buying a house because they're paying off this huge college debt. But there are emerging other ways of doing this, like Peter Thiel. He's got a program out there. What do you make of that?
Yeah, I was actually a semifinalist for the Thiel Fellowship, and I think what he's doing and many other organizations like it is fantastic. Essentially what they're doing is they're giving $100,000 to anybody under the age of 20, for 20 people under the age of 20 that can continue their entrepreneurial dream. And it's amazing what they're doing because they're giving young people the confidence and the mentoring network they need to be successful. I mean, you look at Mark Zuckerberg and Steve Jobs. They were successful not because they got a college degree, but because they went to Silicon Valley, they got the mentors they needed and some startup capital. Look, what would the world be without Apple and Facebook right now? It's amazing. And these are entrepreneurs that were not successful because of a college degree, but because of amazingly valuable mentor networks.
You know, the whole system, though, the colleges and universities depend on more and more people going every single year because now they face huge debt of their own. If this were to become a real trend, would it impact the bottom line of those institutions?
I hope so. And unfortunately, you look at the two sides. There's a demand side, but what's really fueling the college demand side is that government is really pushing low-interest loans for young people. And that's where the young people are able to get the capital they need to go to these colleges and institutions. Because until people want to stop going to college, that's one thing. But government is giving them the money that they need to be able to pay for the inflated tuition. Because if young people are like, all right, I'm no longer going to go, I'm not going to take the loans. But if government is pushing the loans, there's two sides to the equation. And unfortunately, as government continues to push these low-interest loans, the rate of tuition will continue to increase because college has no problem filling the seats in their lecture halls.
It's a feeding frenzy. I think you're absolutely right, and we just showed a graphic showing how the price of tuition is outpacing broader economic inflation. It's just amazing. Charlie, thanks for coming on tonight. Always good to see you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you for having me.